This is the Saiga 12 field stripped and ready for cleaning. This is a picture of the chamber that clearly indicates fouling. This is a picture of the gas block and puck housing that clearly indicates fouling. After saturating a cleaning pad with carbon destroyer, it's now hooked up to the bore snake, ready to go down the bore. Here I've attached the T-handle and ready to start pulling the snake through the bore. After it's been pulled through the bore, you can clearly see there's carbon fouling saturated on the patch. Here I've attached a 12 gauge bore brush to the snake. This is the snake being pulled through the bore with the brush, about to exit the muzzle. For good measure, I've now inserted my personal bore snake from Hops. Here's my personal snake being pulled through the bore. This is my personal snake exiting the bore. Do not let the excessive carbon fool you. This thing has been well used. Here I'm using a patch to apply the Spartan Accuracy oil to the inside of the bore. After a series of pulls, you can clearly see from the picture that the carbon fouling is almost non-existent compared to where it was. Due to the massive size of my phone and this type of receiver, it's almost impossible to get a clear picture of the chamber down the bore. This is from the muzzle end, looking down the bore to the chamber, and obviously, as you can see, it is a mirror. It looks like glass. This is cleaning the fire control group, and of course there's carbon destroyer on it, but the carbon destroyer is a terrible product. It does nothing to actually remove carbon. I'd probably never use it again. Here I'm cleaning the hammer spring. Here I'm wiping any excessive fouling. You'll also notice some rust on the hammer spring. For the purposes of this assignment, I wasn't about to take it all apart, and I have to run to the store and get some steel wool to clean that rust off. This is the bolt fully disassembled. This bolt also has Cerakote Micro Slick applied, which basically prevents any carbon fouling from sticking to it. This is the bolt cleaned and oiled. Here are the rest of the components cleaned and oiled. The fact that they have Cerakote on them, the oil is not going to do anything for it. It just kind of beads up, but just for the purposes of this video, to show that's normally what you do to a gun, I oiled the parts. Here's the Saiga, field stripped, cleaned, lubricated, and ready for reassembly. Here's the gas puck, cleaned of all fouling and plastic residue. Also, here is a close-up of that same gas puck, so you can see a little closer. Alright, so here's a close-up of the receiver in action, all cleaned up and oiled. Again, because of the Cerakote, the oil's not going to really do anything for it at all, but nevertheless, this is it back together. Here we're looking at the front right side, and over here we're going to look at the front left side. Now we're going to move to the left side of the receiver, the very left side, where you'll see the ambidextrous bolt that's on the gun. The finish is not coming off. That's actually a battle wear finish, so it's actually made to look like that, and Cerakote Clear is applied over it to protect it from rusting. Alright, here's the right side with the 20 round drum mag in, safety's on, everything's back together and functioning. Again, here's the right side. You can see that the oil's been wiped on. For the purposes of this video, again, I'm doing the oil just to mimic what a regular firearm would look like if it didn't have Cerakote applied. And that's it for the assignment. We have the fully completed, cleaned, lubricated, oiled, and assembled gun.